Wait till Alan's on visiting. It's 5:30, so we'll call to order this meeting for Monday, July 19th. Carl, would you start us off with a roll call, please?
Councilmember Ronayne.
Present.
Remley.
Present.
Lunsman.
Present.
Reif.
Present.
Johnson.
Present.
Reinbold.
Present.
Langer.
Present.
Rux.
Present.
Mayor Schoeneman.
Present. Please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I've heard no changes to the agenda as it was printed, so I would take a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
A motion from Councilman Rux, second from Councilman Reif. To approve the agenda as printed, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. Motion does carry. Next, we've got the approval of last minutes of last meeting, which was July 6th. Can I get a motion to approve those minutes?
Move to approve. Second.
A motion from Councilman Johnson, second from Councilman Reinbold. Anybody have anything for that? Otherwise, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion does carry. Minutes are approved. We have no speakers signed up for the open forum, so we'll move on to our consent calendar where we've got 6 items of city business. Can I get a motion to approve the consent calendar as printed?
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion from Councilman Remley and a second from Councilman Lunsman. Does anyone have anything, questions, comments, or concerns on our consent calendar items? Otherwise, I would take, I've got a motion, I got our second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. Consent calendar unanimously passes. We'll move on to new business. We've got the possible first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 2, which was the administration of the Aberdeen City Code following voter approval of the revised Aberdeen Home Rule Charter and state law changes. This would be the first reading of that ordinance, and here to present on that for the city is the City Attorney, Ron Wager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council members, you have before you an amendment to the ordinance that is really a review of Chapter 2 of the Aberdeen City Code, which deals with the administration of our city government generally. And there are a number of provisions in the city code that are basically duplicates of what was present in the charter. Well, the charter approval by the voters last November makes it necessary for us to review and consider revising our ordinances to align better with our charter provisions. And as you'll see in the amendment, I've redlined those things. Most of them are fairly simple. In fact, some of them are required because they are referencing charter provisions that have been renumbered. So we do need to make those changes. I would remind the council that it can be more restrictive in its ordinance than what would be in the charter. So there are a couple provisions in here that we can talk about some more, but it cannot be less restrictive. And so, for example, if you go to the proposed change at Section 2-59 regarding teleconferences, there is a provision in there to change participating teleconference can be now taken by voice vote. Votes can be taken by voice vote instead of roll call vote. Again, if the council chooses to retain the roll call vote, it sure can, and it doesn't have to change this ordinance. However, it now has the ability under state law to be a little more relaxed and take voice vote unless there is a vote in the negative, at which point the vote would proceed to a roll call vote. Likewise, at I printed out comments, so mine got a little out of loop here. There it is at 2-81, where it talks about actions requiring ordinance. As you'll recall, in the charter, we amended that charter provision to allow to delete the requirement that any conveyance or lease or authorized conveyance or lease of city lands for longer than 1 year would be by ordinance. That is no longer a requirement in the city charter. It is, however, still in our city ordinance, and the proposed amendment would delete that requirement, again, to align with the charter. But as I indicated earlier, the council, if it chooses, can be more restrictive and choose to retain this provision if it likes. But the only other thing I would add is that at section 2-223, I would request a minor amendment for the insertion of a comma after the after agencies in 2-23, so we could break up that. So it would read, and all city departments, offices, and agencies, comma, and then shall represent the city in all legal proceedings. So I would ask for that change, but other than that, I would recommend that the council adopt this ordinance number 21-07-01 for first reading.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Rob, was that you?
It was me, yes.
A motion from Councilman Renane and a second from Councilman Ryan Bold. What type of questions has everyone got for the city attorney, or everyone is satisfied as it stands?
Yeah, I just want to maintain that for sure that we can have a voice vote on a Zoom meeting.
Correct.
Okay.
Now you could, under state law, prior to this, you could not. But now the state law was recently amended to allow for a voice vote for people participating in teleconference. However, if anyone votes nay, then you would have to proceed to a roll call vote.
Okay, I understand that. Yep.
Councilman Renane, you had a separate issue?
I was going to move the comma, but quite honestly, I didn't follow where it goes. It's
That was at 2-223,
Oh, 223.
2-223, and
Would you please tell everybody what my amendment is?
it is that you would insert after the word agencies a comma.
Okay. I feel strongly about that.
I'll second that. I feel very strongly about it as well.
So if we're treating that as a separate item altogether, we've got a motion from Councilman Renane and a second from Councilwoman Langer to add a comma to section 2-223. Why don't we take a quick vote on that, and then we'll cement that in and see if there's any other questions for the ordinance as a whole, and we will take the first reading. So, being that it's an
You can do that by
amendment,
voice,
I will do that by voice. All in favor of adding the comma as declared by the city attorney, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That does carry. Does anyone else have any other input for these amended changes? I agree with Mark. I think that having the voice vote opportunity will speed things up a little bit when we have members that are not present. Carl, would you give us a roll call vote on the ordinance as a whole?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. We will move along to our second item of new business. We've got the joint funding agreement with USGS for the water resource investigation. This would be possible approval of a joint funding agreement with USGS for investigation from the periods of October 1st of 2021 until September 30th of 2022. And City Engineer Robin Bobzine is here to tell us about that.
We have been doing these agreements with the USGS for roughly 20 years for the four of the stream gauging sites. We've been doing the raw water, real-time raw water monitoring, which is the last part of the agreement. We've been doing that for 6 or 7 years, and we've added one stream gauging station to the south along 281 after the confluence of Foot Creek. So we've added one. That's where the cost increase has come into this. We're about the same price as we have been in the past, and we share those stream gauging stations cost-wise with Brown County. We recommend approval of this. During times of high water, these gauges are very important to us in being able to figure out what we need to do for planning, and we recommend approval of continuing with this partnership.
Move approval.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Rux and a second from Councilman Johnson. Does anyone have any contribution to make on the topic? Questions for the city engineer? All right, then I've got our motion, I've got our second. All in favor of this joint funding agreement, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, same sign. Motion does carry. Thank you very much, Robin. Next, we've got the request to purchase the computer software for the city departments. Possible approval to purchase the latest version of Tyler Technologies Encode number 10 software at the total cost of $83,138. Carl will tell us about that here today.
Thank you, Mayor. We've been working with Tyler Technologies for this upgrade for quite some time. Between the pandemic last year, it kind of set us back a little bit because of scheduling problems at Tyler Technologies. Now we're ready to move forward with a signed agreement, and so that's what we're bringing to the council. As you note in the agenda item, the total cost is $83,000, which will be split between the 2 years, 2021 and 2022. It is included in the budget. This software is used by several departments, finance, HR, planning and zoning, the meter department for utility billing. With this upgrade, it'll produce some efficiencies in all those departments, some upgrades that will be used by all the departments. A good thing that we're looking forward to.
And Carl, this was the software we had talked about earlier where Councilwoman Langer had asked about the online payments for some of the services that
Correct.
currently aren't.
Yep, some of the things we can move forward with, yes.
What will be that implementation schedule? Does that just automatically come in, or do you need to set that up?
Once we get the agreement to them, then we'll find out what the scheduling is.
But it doesn't, I mean, we'll have to turn it on. We'll have to plug
Yes,
in
oh
all the
yes,
right things.
yes.
Alrighty then. Any other questions for Carl on this one? All right, I take a motion to approve that purchase.
So moved. Second.
And a motion from Councilman Johnson, a second from Councilman Reinbold. So I saw no additional input. Carl, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Mayor Schoeneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got a change order for the AIP project 346-001 43-221 taxiway geometry. Sharp Enterprises possible approval and authorize the city manager to sign that change order, which would be a decrease in the contract amount of $31,603. Rich is here to tell us, but before, I'd like to make note that I don't think we've seen a negative change order in the past since we've been here. These guys must not understand how the city government works. That's a joke. Rich, what have you got for us?
As you stated, this is for a reduction or deduct of $31,603. We had some concrete removed, and we're not replacing that concrete. We're just simply putting black dirt in. And the tab sheet is attached. You can look at that. And Airport Board recommends approval of this.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Ronayne and a second from Councilman Johnson. Does anyone got any questions for the airport manager? All right, then Carl, would you give us a roll call vote for that change order, please?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Johnson, Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye.
Mayor Schoeneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got payment request for the airport improvement projects. 4 payments in total. The first one for airport taxiway geometry to Sharp Enterprises, $618,108.35. A payment to Helms and Associates for taxiway geometry of $56,645.57. Payment for taxiway C to Helms and Associates of $730.40, as well as a GA apron project payment to Helms and Associates for $1,766.02. And Rich, why don't you tell us about each of those?
Okay, yep, the first one is for work completed to date, and, they're moving along. They poured, about 500 feet of taxiway delta Friday morning at 4 a.m., tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. They've got another pour, another 500 foot long, section. So they're moving along, they're making some progress out there. Payment number 20 is engineering and resident fees from Helms and Associates for work completed to date on taxiway geometry, $56,645. Number 31 is taxiway Charlie. We're getting pretty close to wrapping this project up, and it's just for additional work from Helms on that. And then payment number 8 is for design services on phase 1 of the general aviation ramp reconstruction that will begin next spring. Airport Board recommends approval of all.
Move to approve all 4 payments.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Johnson, a second from Councilman Ronan. Does anyone have any questions for the airport manager? Let's, Carl, would you give us a roll call vote to make those 4 payments, please?
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Ronan,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the review and approval of the claims and payrolls. We've got our bills, which consists of the list for July 19th, 2021, as well as the approval for the pay period of July 14th through the 17th, and the city's share of Social Security, old age, survivors insurance, retirement health, and life insurance.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion from Councilman Lunsman, a second from Councilman Reif to make the payroll and pay the bills. Anyone have any questions on any of these? Otherwise, Carl, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Ronan,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye, but abstain on the payroll item for Mitchell Rux.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye. Motion does carry. These things will be paid. We'll move along to our city manager's report. Here's Joe Gah.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Quick update on the 2022 budget preparation, where we are in the schedule. We're moving right along. Department heads had turned in their request. We've gone through those. We've worked together as a team to develop kind of a balanced budget for the general fund, which takes making some choices. I think last week we firmed up kind of the plan for the capital improvement. So we will bring those to you on August 2nd. I'll do my budget message, and you'll receive the drafts of those. And then also we'll ask you next week to set a work session for August 9th, and we'll bring that agenda to you next week as well. And then one other item, I spend a lot of time, and I really get a kick out of these years of service for the 5, 10, 15, and 20, but there's some others too. Sometimes those are folks that I may not hardly see and the council doesn't see, but I need to watch the calendars a little bit better. I've missed some of these, but I think when we have folks that you as the council interact with, it's important to point out. So this month we actually have a couple of rather significant anniversaries. On July 9th, Peggy Batten out at the wastewater plant hit 31 years. So she's carrying the torch pretty strongly in some of the department heads. And then just yesterday, our own city engineer, Robin Bobzine, hit 27 years. So
Wow.
I think those are good to note with the folks you see often and interact with. But we appreciate all our staff, and we enjoy these celebrating these milestones. That's all I have.
Thank you very much, Joe. Does anyone else have anything to contribute before we move to adjourn? Go ahead.
I just had one quick question for Robin. It's been 2 weeks, and I see that North Dakota has got a lot of concrete. How are we doing?
Actually, they're on schedule yet. They've got a couple weeks of kind of the sidewalk, side street tie-ins, things like that. But I think they'll be in really good shape by about fair time, and that's what they're shooting for right now. Everything is gone. Of course, we didn't have to really fight any rains or anything like that, and that'll significantly affect their ability to do their work in a timely manner. So this year they haven't had to worry about that. It's more about adding water to make it work. So we're on schedule. Thank you.
Councilman Remley, did you have something?
Just wondering about water restrictions as far as what is our current water restrictions for, say, watering lawns and gardens?
We have a constant watering restriction of you're not to water your yards between the hours of 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. And so that's constant. That is in place now. So we have not gone anything further, but I anticipate we'll be bringing you something here in the next few weeks. But we wanted to see what August looked like before that. One trend that happens here is folks get their first water bill and they slow down their watering. So that happened in the last couple weeks. So we thought we'd see how the next month goes. But Robin, do you have something to add?
We are down about 2.5 feet at Elm Lake right now. That is a planned reduction in elevation because of the work we're going to be doing. The update we received from the state today, and Joe doesn't know this yet, but he heard the same thing from me earlier in a meeting. The state did update us today and say that they're planning on bidding August 24th now is the date that they're planning on bidding it, with substantial completion in March of next year for that spillway project. And then they've got some other work that they will be doing. I'm presuming that the phase 2 will be on the secondary spillway to repair that and get it to the right elevation, which would be November of next year. So couple milestones they'll have to hit in the next year, but the one crucial one is prior to that spring runoff, and hopefully we do have some runoff to go through that system. So yeah.
Thank you, Robin. With that, I guess I will take a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion from Councilman Rux and a second from Councilman Reinbold to adjourn this meeting. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. Motion does carry. We are adjourned. Thank you all for joining.